Hey, this is Mike. I'm just checking out this 2015 Dodge Charger SE. Now this one has the V6 with the 8-speed transmission. It's almost as basic as you can get it. The only add it has on the SE to the SE package is the Sport Appearance Group. So it has the 18-inch wheels and the spoiler. Other than that, this is about as basic as you can get, which so gives you a reference point here. And I mean, it has a lot of features. It's not a featureless car for sure, but it is pretty much at the starting point of the 2015 Chargers. So you have the halogen projector headlights, no fog lights. It does have LED daytime running lamps. They go around the headlights. Let's see if I can push the unlock button to see if I can get those to turn on. It's kind of hard to tell during the day. But the color on this one is billet silver, and it looks like the tires, I mean the wheels here, are kind of matching with the rest of the car. Now it does have the proximity key, so there's the key right there, and so basically I can lock the car and I can unlock the car just by putting my hand under the handle. It unlocks the car. As this is only for the driver and the front passenger and driver doors. The back doors are not like that. Here's the inside of the door. You got a pocket there at the bottom, bottle holder. This is kind of like a soft touch rubber feel here, and pretty much everything's soft to the touch except for that's the hard plastic there. Manual adjustments on the cloth seats here in the front. Comes with the floor mats that hook in so they don't slide around. Looking here in the back. Now that front seat, the driver's seat, I put all the way back, so you can see still a little bit of leg room there, even with the front seat all the way back. And then here's a normal distance here, so there's a pretty good amount of leg room here in the back seats. It does have the latch system for the child safety seats. This folds down, and you've got some cup holders as well as an armrest. USB chargers back here for the back seat drivers. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and push the unlock of the button again, so hopefully you can see the glow of the tail light here. Check out my video 2015. It's called 2015 Dodge Charger at night, so you can get an idea of what all the lights and stuff looks like at nighttime. So let me go ahead and open the trunk. You can see it has a V6, but you can see it does have the dual exhaust with the bright tips there for the exhaust. Now there's two ways I can open up the trunk right now. I can use the key, double tap that, and it opens up. Or if the key's in my pocket, which is pretty much designed to be with the proximity key, I'm going to go ahead and take the key, put it in my pocket, and I could just walk up and push this little button here. It's kind of hidden, and it opens up the trunk. Has plenty of room back here. You got a light there, got a light there. Has a net, has this little net that comes with the car, and that way it's like a cargo net. You got anchors here and there, where you can hook it up, string it across, and put stuff in there for easy access. Now lifting this up, under here is your spare tire. You also have your battery and a fuse box. I think that's a fuse box, it looks like one. And also, you notice this little funnel right here, that's for your capless fuel inlet, or whatever you want to call it. It's not a fuel cap, but it's a capless design, which I'll show you in a second. You do have a little glow-in-the-dark pull handle in case a child were to accidentally you know, lock themselves in the trunk, they can pull that and it releases the trunk and they can escape. The aluminum wheels are pretty neat looking. I like the styling. Has the Michelin tires on this one. So let me go ahead and show you where the fuel cap is, the fuel door. Right here, you see the door, it's right there. Usually you would look for it over here, but it's not there. So push that, and it pops open. It is on the driver's side, which is very convenient. And there's your capless design. You can see you just can't take your finger and push in there. You have to use either the nozzle for a fuel, you know, the regular, you know, fuel station or whatever, but also if you need to use a gas can, you can see you use a little funnel and put it there, and it'll allow it to go in there, and that way you can put gas in your vehicle. There's this little rubber hood there that goes over that to kind of keep trash and stuff out. So back to the front door. This is the driver's door. It's got a very soft padding. This is cloth. This is like, it feels like a rubber material. Same is the same material that's on the dashboard there, right here. And you got your door handle, power door locks, power windows. The front windows will automatically go down. Rear windows, you got to hold it to go up or down. Got a pretty good sized pocket down here, bottle holder there, speaker. Now the seat is powered, goes forward and back powered, but then to adjust the back of the seat, you have to, it's a manual adjustment there. Alright, so hopping in, has the automatic headlights here. You have your dimmer switches for your gauges and your interior lights. You also have another dimmer switch for your ambient light. So in this vehicle, if you check out my night video, you can see what I'm talking about regarding the ambient light. And there's your trunk button there. That's another way of releasing the trunk. Alright, so now that we're in, it's a lot quieter in here. Everything's turned off. So in order to start the vehicle, I do have the key still in my pocket. I just put my foot on the brake, and it'll tell you up here, press brake and push button to start. So it gives you some clues there. So I put my foot on the brake and I push this button. And since it's an automatic transmission, you can just push the button and you don't have to sit there and hold it. I had an experience with a manual transmission Hellcat where I pushed the button and it just stopped. It didn't start, and I'm like, that's weird. So I pushed it again and had to hold it because apparently the manual transmission is different on that respect. So here's the steering wheel. It's leather wrapped with some stitching around the inside, and it does have the grips here and there. Has the Dodge badge there with some chrome around the outside, which is pretty neat. Excuse me. On the right side is your cruise control. Now, as long as you push this button and where it makes sure that it's on. See how this toggles on and off? It has to be on, and then that way you can set it. On the back of the steering wheel on this side is a volume button. I can adjust the volume up and down with this button on the back of the steering wheel. That way you can keep your hands on the wheel. On the back of the steering wheel on this side, you can change to the stations. So that's pretty convenient. It's a good safety feature. On the left side of the steering wheel, on the bottom, we have your voice recognition button, which has lots of different commands, changing stations, calling people, stuff like that. And once you pair your Bluetooth phone, you can make and receive calls here. You can hang up there. Now this is your gauges, and you notice it has like a red and sporty looking design. There's your miles per hour on that side, and then your RPMs on that side. Now in the middle, you've got a digital readout gauge here, and this is how you control that gauge to see different things. This is the, you know, like OK, and then you got arrows. Right here we're in the speedometer mode. Speedometer says speedometer there. There's your racetrack looking 0. We're going 0 miles per hour right now. You got your range. These are things in the corner you can change, but range is there. Temperature is there on the outside of the vehicle. Temperature of your engine's here, and then your fuel is there, and this is where you change your gears on that side there. So right now I'm just going to push the down arrow button, and it's taking me to the vehicle info. You notice it now a number appears. It's showing you that there's different menus here. So in the vehicle info screen, I can scroll to the right and left. Right now it's showing the tire pressure, but you can scroll to the right and you can get all kinds of different temperatures and pressures of the vehicle in real time. And it scrolls back to your tire pressure. Scrolling down goes into my fuel economy. It gives me a real-time gauge, it gives me a range, and it gives me an average. Scrolling down again, it gives me a trip. Now this is 2 trips, trip A, trip B. And it's not just a mileage trip, you also have a average miles per gallon, but also a timer as well. Scrolling down, this is your audio, what your radio is doing basically. Messages will be here, anything the car wants to tell you. Screen setup, that's what I was talking about. You can change the corners here, and then it goes back to speedometer. Excuse me. So that's kind of a brief overview of that center screen there. Now there's another screen on this side. This is more for your some other stuff. This is where you find your radio and different things. Before I go too far, it's kind of getting hot in this here. I'm going to hit climate, temperature, and I'm going to scroll that down. Done. Alright, so go back to radio. Okay, so now we're in the radio screen, and it kind of gives you an idea of your temperature there, gives your fan speed there, and has your presets for your radio at the top, AM, FM, and all that good stuff. Media. Now the media, this is where you can connect different devices. This vehicle has a USB port right here. Let me get to it. Inside the center console is a USB, an SD, and an auxiliary input, so you can plug in different devices into the system. It does not have a CD player. CD players, I keep hearing a lot of people say, man, it doesn't even have a CD player. CDs have been obsolete for at least 10 years, but they're kind of lingering around just because people have so many of them. But really, it's not that big of a deal. It's so much easier to have a USB drive with a bunch of songs on it and playing than, you know, popping in and out CDs. But hey, people held on to cassette tapes and all that stuff too for years, so you might have still have some now. Phone. This is where you can pair your phone, but also once you pair your phone, you'll have recent calls, your phone book, and also all this stuff will light up when you pair your phone. You have a keypad right here. Won't let me go into it now, but you can also hit this transfer button and transfer the call back to your cell phone if you want to have a private conversation. Compass. See what the compass looks like. Pretty cool. Climate. That's what I showed you before, and it has a like a dual zone. Hold on, let me turn this off. It has a dual zone. Let's see here. No, it doesn't. Let me see here. Yeah, it does when you unsync it. You can see where basically you can adjust the right and left separately. So you notice, I mean, this is a base model, pretty much a base model Charger, but you notice it has dual zone. It has all kinds of cool features so far. Just kind of checking out push button start, proximity key, Very feature-rich vehicle for being a base model. So there's, you know, basic your climate control. You get your fan, you can adjust it. You can blast out like a hurricane. That stuff. You know, where you want the air to blow and all that. And let's hit more. Now this is, you know, kind of gives you some more information. You can adjust your clock. Actually, let's hit the clock and you can actually see a big clock there. Settings, that's where you adjust your clock, and then you can turn the screen off if you want to, just by pushing that, and it goes away just in case it's distracting you or something like that. But you can always push it to turn it back on. So down here you have a volume button. You have a way of tuning through the stations here, just like on your steering wheel. And so these are kind of redundant buttons, and the back button is to go back in the screen. There's your traction control button here. You can turn that off. Default is on while the vehicle is running, but you can turn it off if you want. And when you push it off, it'll let you know up here. Okay, so also more redundant buttons for your climate control. They're handy. They're not unnecessary. They do come in handy. You know, so you can adjust your temperatures on the fly. Real easy. You have a power supply down there, a pocket down there. You got your Dodge Brothers thing going on there with this little shallow pocket. I guess put your cell phone, change, anything you want in this little section. Now here's your shifter. This is a pretty awesome shifter. I love it. Right now it's in park. Put it in reverse. This is an improvement over the previous models. Before you just kind of bumped it forward and back. This one you actually move. Neutral, drive. Now you're in drive, you're cruising along, and you want to change to the gears yourself, like manually. You just go like that. Now it turns into a ratchet shifter. Now you can bump through the gears, and you can see what gear you're in here. Now it's not going to let you like go through cycle all through 8 gears while you're sitting still, but it gives you the ability to have a little bit more control over the gears while you're driving. So it's a pretty neat feature. I like the way it ratchets, you know, like an old muscle car. You can always go like that, go back to drive. There's your cup holders. It's got this little door. And check out this at night. These are some ambient light in here, and it's pretty neat. Center console, armrest. This lifts up, and as I showed you, it has your inputs here. It also has this little tray, which is handy for change. You have a power supply down there, and just a place to put some junk. You have a lockable, huge lockable glove compartment. It's felt lined on the bottom, and then you've got those little shelves there on the top. There's a rear view mirror. It is a manual night mode there. These little bumps on the top of the rear view mirror are your microphones for your Bluetooth system. Place to put your sunglasses in here. Tap lights on both sides. Visor has mirrors and lights. Yes, this is the SE model. Take a look at the window sticker. I copy all this stuff in the description, but just to give you an idea real quick here. And you can see optional equipment. It just has the customer preferred package sport appearance group. Everything else is standard. Alright, let's take a look under the hood. .6 liter Pentastar V6. It does have VVT as indicated here on the plastic cover that's covering up the engine. but very responsive engine. I mean, you kind of have to take it for a test drive. It's not some wimpy, you know, some of the older 6-cylinders kind of wimpy feeling. And I mean, this is a totally different type of V6 from the, you know, like the old, especially like old 90s cars and stuff like that. The V6s and 4-cylinders nowadays are not the same as they used to be. So it's a very good choice. It's not a wimpy engine at all. It get really good gas mileage, and it's like 31 on the highway. I mean, seriously, that's awesome. So anyway, if you purchase one of these, let me know. If you have any, you know, real world experience with a 15 Dodge Charger, let us know in the comments so you can share your experience with everybody else. And if you have any clarifications, corrections, anything to add, let me know as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.